Happy Monday, everyone. Suzanne. What's beeping? Oh, my thing over here. I'm gonna put it on cancel so it'll stop beeping. So I just received on Friday, which I absolutely love getting this, my 3 new Tastebuds recipes. And this month, I got a Croque Madame Casserole. How do you spell that or say that? Shrimp salad roll, and the other one that I can't wait to make is crispy goat cheese salad. So, and there's the picture of that crispy goat cheese salad. Can't wait to make that. Can't wait to make the shrimp rolls. And then the one we're making today is the one that I can't pronounce because it's a casserole. And I don't know about you, I know casseroles are something that a lot of people do in the winter. I always do a lot more casseroles in the spring because I just want to be outside. I need to get outside, spring fever. So anyway, this one is the one that appeals to me. So with the Tastebuds subscription, you're sent 3 recipes and you're sent 3 packets of different seasonings. So for this one, it's the rosemary seasoning, herbs de Provence, and 3 onion, all of which I'm very familiar with, and I really like all of them, so I'm very pleased with this. So for this recipe, it's pretty basic. We're going to be using our 9x13 stoneware casserole dish, which is a workhorse in anybody's kitchen if you make casseroles. It says to start it out by greasing the pan. Now, greasing the pan, some people pull out some butter. I tend to pull out and I tightened this up, I pull out my Pampered Chef spritzer. Now, because you put some of the energy into it to make it spray, I don't know if you guys can see or not, I just want a really light spray. And I didn't do it enough because I'm on camera here, so I'm just gonna do a little tiny bit more. And now the whole thing is sprayed up. Now, one way to keep your kitchen spritzer in good shape is to undo the pressure before you set it away. By the way, I did have somebody ask me, the line is there for how far you should be filling it. You shouldn't fill past there, partially to keep your oil in tip-top freshness. So this now requires 12 pieces of bread cut on the diagonal using, of course, my bread knife. This is not the color-coded one. This is the professional one, and a little bit of the oil coming up. So cutting them on the diagonal, and then it says the next part is to layer the bread, ham, and cheese shingled in 3 rows. Now, I'm not entirely sure what shingled means, so I'm just going to try and figure this out. So I assume I'm going to put bread in here like this. Shingled. I don't know. You guys probably know what this means better than I do. Get my bread in here. I don't know about this shingled thing because I have a whole lot. It doesn't say in 3 rows. Okay, so does that mean, I'm gonna pause this for just a sec. Okay, figured it out. So it's gonna be 3 layers, I think. So I have my first layer of my bread, and I should have done this ahead of time. Pulling out my deli cheese. How much easier does it get than to have a deli cheese, deli meat, and Swiss cheese? And since I'm using the whole amount of Swiss cheese, I'm just going to use my kitchen shears, my professional kitchen shears, to open this up, get my cheese out, and I'm going to start layering. So you guys can't see the layers because the way this is set up. I'm going to go ahead and layer it, and then I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, we're back. I layered my casserole, so I've got the bread, the meat, and the Swiss cheese. Now, the part that I really wanted to show you, because it's really fun, is, let me change this up a little bit. Oh, to get the perfect angle, is our Flex Plus multi-use tool. So it comes, it's a 3-piece set. You have an immersion blender. You have, you can do your immersion blender in here. You have, hold on, I got all my pieces here. You know, the hardest part about doing this for everybody is getting all my pieces in the right place at the right time. So I don't get it all done at the same time. We'll get there. Anyway, here is our immersion blender. So what's cool about this is like, you know how you've got your shop tools out there with the extra batteries that you can attach? Well, that's how this works. These are cordless. They come with 2 batteries. You can keep them charged up. See how I popped that in there and the light came on. So you can turn this into a, there we go. We can put our beaters on here, or I can, that's for the beater part, or I could turn this into my immersion blender. There's the immersion blender. What I love about this is it has the silicone or nylon base, so it won't, if you do your immersion blending in a non-stick pan, you're not going to cause damage. And you can do your immersion blending right into that. It comes with that. But what we want this for today is to do, goodness, what are these called? The food processor part. So it comes with regular blades. I've already cracked my eggs into here and I have the blades in. Let me read what I'm supposed to do. So we have our 6 eggs in here and we're beating it with 1 cup of milk. So I'm going to put my milk in here, just like that. My 1 cup of milk, and then a tablespoon of our seasoning. And then I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to pull this off here and get my 1 cup or 1 tablespoon of seasoning mix. Oh, I love opening these packages because they smell so good. One of the things that I really, really like is it keeps it very fresh when they come to you. So I'm going to put my tablespoon of seasoning in there, and then let me show you how this works. So right now, nothing's going to happen to it because it's not attached. I am going to cover this part up. My battery is on here. I'm going to pop this in. It snaps right in. Now, if I push buttons, nothing's going to happen. There's a safety component of this. There's a little button here. I'm going to push that. When it's ready to go, the blue light comes on. Push the button, and I'm going to whisk this up. Each battery is supposed to be half an hour of beating time. I don't know about you, but I don't usually do half an hour with any of these. So there we go. Let's see, how does it look? It just, does it say well beaten? It says beat the eggs. So that's all. Oh, push my safety button. There we go, it's beaten. So this Flux Plus, I have to say, it is, like I said, you brought your shop tools into the kitchen. My husband loves this thing. He's the one who pulls it out more than I do, but then he bakes more than I do. And I love my manual food processor and my rapid prep mandolin so much that I don't even think to do this. But for those of you who prefer to have mechanical devices or electric devices, this is an electric device without having to have the cord. And it all comes apart. So this part's all clean. I don't have to do anything to it except put it away. I'm going to pop this off here, and then now do not immerse this lid. Just wiping it off will be plenty to clean it up. I'm going to pull out the blades because they're sharp. And then it says to pour the mixture over top of what I've done here. So I guess the bread will soak it all up as it's cooking. There we go. Make sure all the bits and good things are on there. So there's that. And then it says to put a cup of shredded Parmesan over the top. So I have that, and I'm going to pop this into the oven. And I am going to keep you on here. because while this is cooking, this is half an hour, I'm going to make a bechamel sauce. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. You know, I barely speak English, guys. So I'm going to make the sauce, and I am going to include you in that, but right now I'm going to pause while I get this into the oven. All right, so I've put the casserole in the oven. It's at 375 and it's being cooked for 30 minutes. But the recipe says, meanwhile, we're going to make the sauce. So I, of course, have one of my non-stick. When you're making a sauce like this, it's so much better to use a non-stick pan. You guys know our great pans, the lids or the handles come off, so it's easier storage, but they're easy to put on once you figure it out, and they're very, very sturdy. Don't hear anything rattling. There's no rattling. So I have 2 tablespoons of butter that I've already put in here. And so what I'm doing is I'm melting the butter, and then I have 3 tablespoons of flour, and I'm going to whisk that together. Let me get my whisk, and I'm going to whisk it together until the butter is all absorbed by the flour, wet flour, and then I'm going to slowly add in my milk. And then I like a little bit more spice. All my family does. So we're going to, once I've created the sauce, I'm going to be stirring in a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And then when I go to serve my dish, I'm going to chop up some pickles and have a sprinkling of pickles. And I'll put that on the side because everybody has different amounts that they want to put in there. So why am I showing you all this? This month, you can give these Tastebuds a try. They are 25% off. We have a 1 month. Just give it a shot for 1 month. You won't get these recipes because you'd be signing up for next month. We have a 3-month subscription and we have a 6-month subscription. And I really encourage you to, if you like something new, if you're like, okay, I just want somebody to tell me what to make, these are the perfect fun things to add to your family's repertoire. So, have to tell you, my new whisk, love this whisk. Again, you're thinking, well, whisking into a non-stick pan. Well, these are nylon coated, and so this is not going to cause any damage to my pan with this whisk. And of course, it wouldn't be a video with me if my dogs weren't barking. So let me put my 3 tablespoons of butter in here. I'll be back in a sec. It's so good to have my friends here giving all sorts of noisy advice. So, oh my goodness. So what I've done, so I'm back and she's still barking. Nobody will ever sneak up on me, I gotta tell you that. So here's the whole butter and flour is together sort of thing. And now I'm going to slowly pour in some milk, a little bit at a time, so that it becomes a nice sauce. And I have to say, I am not the most perfect person at doing this because I am not very patient. So this does take a little bit of patience. I think I'm on medium yet. I'm going to stir and stir and stir and add some more milk until I get a nice sauce. And then it's only supposed to cook 4 to 6 minutes, it says, because it is flour. So with flour, you do want to cook it. This is so, you do want to have it cooked. Now, I'm going to do something that the rest of you might not do. There's plenty of protein in this particular dish. I believe it's 32 grams of protein per serving, and this makes how many servings? I don't know how many servings. Makes a bunch. So plenty of protein, but what it doesn't have a lot of is fiber. So I am going to add, okay, I'm stirring this here. I am going to add my tablespoon of Dijon. I'm going to add another tablespoon of my rosemary seasoning. And then I'm going to put in a whole packet of my kale and fiber, which is 2 cups of kale in there. 8 grams of fiber will be added to this dish. Now, some of you are horrified because it's bechamel sauce, which is a white sauce. This will turn it green. It will. I don't care. I'd rather have some fiber in there. I'm serving this to just my hubby and I. So it really doesn't matter, but if you have kids who like the Incredible Hulk, any food that you feed them that's green, you can just say it's Hulk food. And it'll help them grow bigger and stronger. Okay, you can see how it's starting to be much more of a sauce now. I love this whisk. Slowly adding a bit more. I'm going to let it heat up before I add some more. As you continue to whisk, pour in the remaining milk. Awesome. Continue stirring until it comes to a boil and thickens 4 to 6 minutes. Now, I may not keep you on here for 4 to 6 minutes, but I'm adding the kale and fiber because, again, those are part of our Enrichables program, and the Enrichables can, again, be a one-off purchase, or you can do the subscription, and they're on sale this month. And the part that I really like, I do use them. I'm a subscriber. I add a lot of things to my food because the Enrichables are just food. But they're like, who eats 2 cups of kale on a regular basis? Not everybody. All that's in here is chicory root fiber and kale powder. So it's all your dishes, all the things that your family likes to eat, but you can add with the super veggie. Ooh, maybe I should put some super veggie in here too, because there's no veggies in this. Maybe I'll do that too. I think I will. You can add the veggies. You can add extra protein. Don't need to add extra protein to this, but there's no veggies in this. So I'm going to add a couple scoops of the super veg, and I'm going to add my kale. So I do get some extra in the dish. It will not change the flavor, especially not for a dish like this. So once this is whisked up, when my casserole comes out, so I heat this up, I get this all ready, and then when they call it the bread mixture, when the stuff in the oven comes out, I am going to pour this all over top and then let it sit for another 10 minutes, and then chop up some of my pickle, put that on top, and it will all be done. So I am going to pause for a sec because this is another couple of minutes. We're already at 17 minutes. I don't know how that happens. And I'll bring you back for the end of this, and then again at the very end I'll show you that part too. So I'm still whisking my sauce, and that's the thing with these sauces, you do need to keep whisking. You don't want them to burn, and this is medium heat, so the idea is to get it to be boiling, but it will take a little bit to get there. So one of the other things I wanted to say about the Tastebuds is, you're like, okay, so Rosemary, I don't really know what to do with it. They give us some other ideas for every one of these seasonings, and there's enough in those packets that you can get at least 2 meals out of your seasonings. So there's rosemary Dijon pork chops, yum. There's seared herbed salmon, which is awesome, and rosemary Parmesan pretzel twists. Never thought to add rosemary to pretzel twists, but that would be fun. So the herbes de Provence, that's a great seasoning that goes into a lot of soups and such, but they can go on roasted carrots, crispy potatoes, and bruschetta topping. I never thought to use it for that, but you certainly can. And then our 3 onion rub, have to tell you, that is probably one of the ones I personally order all the time because I use it a lot. You can put it in meatloaf, 3 onion mashed potatoes, awesome, cheesy broccoli. Those are just some of the ideas that come with your Tastebuds. Now, I have a whole binder full at this point of my Tastebuds recipes, and several of them have become my go-to recipes because, of course, I have access to everything, so I always have the seasonings on hand. Okay, come on here. So just wanted to tell you about those. And let's see, we are thickened up. We haven't boiled yet. Now, if you've made it all the way this far into this demonstration, what I want you to do is message me, private message me, the secret code word spring 2022, and message me that because you watched all the way through, and I'm going to reward you for that. If you decide that you do want to start one of the Tastebuds, whatever level, Tastebuds or oh, I'm getting some bubbles here, or Enrichables at the 25% off, I will give you an extra 10%, but you have to let me know, and I have to put in the order in order to be able to do that for you. So spring 2022, private message me and it'll tell me whether anybody pays any attention to, to these, because I am trying to go live a little bit more often. Okay, I'm going to put you on pause again. Oh, not yet. Okay, I have got it to come to a nice bubble. Can't see it from there. Love this whisk, by the way. I love the no scritch. I know I've said it a few times, but I don't like the scritch. So here's my tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I am going to get that stirred in here while it's still hot. And stir, stir, stir. I'm now going to turn off the heat because this part is just stirring things in. I've stirred so I've now got a bit of a yellow hue. I'm going to stir in another tablespoon of the rosemary seasoning. And you know, that's one of the things I want to say. A lot of people go a little too light on their seasonings, and you think, oh, I want to save it. Don't save it. Live for today. Live for the taste. Don't under season your food. You want it to have a nice bold punch of flavor that really, you know, makes food a pleasure. One of the things that we're like, oh, we shouldn't eat too much. Well, if you're ever cutting down on how much you're eating, you want to make sure every bite is worth the time of eating. So, and here we go. Here's the part that I was going to bring you back to, because I had this beautiful sauce, and now I'm going to put a whole packet in here, and we're going to take a look. I'm going to stir this in, and you're going to see it's going to have a green hue, but not super green. Yeah, it's pretty good. Do you see how it is? I think that's a pretty green. So we have 8 grams of fiber will be in this. So I'm just going to let this sit aside for right now. Put the lid on because I do want it to cool down, but I don't want it to be cold because I still want it to be able to pour. So I'm going to pause you again and then wait for my casserole to come out, and then we'll finish things off. Okay, I'm back. It's been no time at all on your end. So I figured out what the shingling was for. So if I had looked more closely at the picture, the bread should have been on edge so that it could absorb the sauce that I'm about to pour on a little bit easier. So I'm going to actually make some cuts because the cheese is over top. You know, you guys have known me long enough. I'm pampered, not perfect. So let's so our sauce is still warm. I'm going to pour it over and then we will be done. But I really appreciate you guys that you're here. You're in my VIP group. I so appreciate all of you hanging out with me, buying stuff from me occasionally. But basically, you know, as time goes on, I'm even more grateful for this wonderful business that has done so much for my family, so much for me, allows me to basically be my own boss and get to make casseroles so that I can go golfing and do all sorts of fun things. Anyway, I just wanted to know I appreciate you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope that your spring is going well. I don't think this is what it was supposed to look like at all, but that doesn't matter. It'll taste just great anyway. So this is gonna sit for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to chop up some pickles. By the way, this makes it a Cuban style. By having the Dijon mustard and some pickles on it, makes it a Cuban style. Who knew? But I hope you have a wonderful night yourself, and I'll see you again soon.